Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, this is it!
This is Top Flight Time Machine. I am Andy Hot Body Dawson. Pow, pow, pow.
I'm Sam Nifty Delaney. So what?
Welcome along. It's the Friday morning episode. Well, if you're IFS, you'll get it on Thursday evening. What you'll also get if you're IFS on this Thursday evening, 21st of December 2023, is our very first IFS live video stream Christmas party, which we're going to be doing from 8 p.m. This episode will be going out after we've done it. So it's old news. But if you're IFS, you'll have been sent a link to watch it. That link will still be good for catch-up viewing. That link doesn't necessarily have to be a live stream. It will work if you want to watch it later on this evening, tomorrow, Christmas Day.
What, on our YouTube channel?
On our YouTube channel, but obviously you won't get it if you're not IFS, because it's secret. It's hidden away on our YouTube channel. But so IFS, tell you what, we'll put it out Boxing Day for everyone to watch.
Woo!
How does that sound? So it'll be 5 days old.
It'll play the role that Noel Edmonds once did at Christmas.
Yeah.
Because, and it will be a bit like Noel's Christmas presents as well, because it's a real variety show we've got lined up today, with a lot of the listeners coming on to perform or contribute in ever more outrageous ways.
Assuming that they do turn up. Let's hope they do, because they don't always. Sometimes they say they're going to come on and
we're going live to Norwich, where we've asked people to meet us with a front door.
Yeah, there's a man brought a garage door. It's unbelievable. It's so nutty here.
Smitty, are you there, Smitty? Oh, it's a complete chaos here.
So we'll do that. We'll put that in Boxing Day. You can watch that if you want. Because I should mention, Christmas is coming. There will be no episode on Monday, Christmas Day. Sorry about that.
No, come on, lads. You can't expect us to put a episode out on Christmas Day. We work pretty hard year round. We must put out more episodes than any other podcast.
There will be no episode on Boxing Day. Well, apart from the YouTube video you can watch.
You can have that.
Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there'll be episodes, IFS and non-IFS. New Year's Day, no episode. Sorry about that. You'll have to find something else to do New Year's Day as well. But then back from the 2nd of January with everything as it should be. So you're going to say that you might considering putting, what were you going to do?
I might try and the last time I did one of our little music shows that we occasionally put out for IFS Turbo. Sometimes I make them. It's good fun, but I never know what to say between the songs.
You get shy.
So, I just don't. Well, what do people want to hear? Oh, that song, that was Luther Vandross. This next one's Alexander O'Neill.
Also Luther Vandross.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly. And so what I did was I did an Ask Me Anything to the Turbo, and I just answered questions in between. So I might do one of those.
Yeah, all right. That'd be good. Maybe do it for all the IFS.
Yeah, I'll do it for all the IFS over Christmas. It'll be a Christmas Ask Me Anything.
We'll cobble something together. You know, we might find that we're missing doing the pods over the Christmas period, that we need 30 minutes away from our respective nearest and dearest. So
the most common way for me to miss it, apart from missing you, obviously, Andy, on a personal level, is...
And you also?
Is things happen, right? Things happen. Thing about life is, from the moment you fucking wake up in the morning, right, there's always something happening. And almost everything that happens, I think, that's quite funny, right? You got to look at the funny side of everything, isn't you? But then I think I'd really like to talk about that on the podcast. Yeah. Because not everyone is going to find it funny. I mean, I know some people in my life, and I can tell them certain stories, but other stories I'll tell them. Like this morning, I was in Premier Inn in Liverpool, and there was an older guy, and there was only one coffee machine. You know the coffee machines they have there in the Premier Inn, and there was only one. Sometimes they have two, but this is the one at Liverpool Albert Dock. Is probably the biggest Premier Inn I've ever been in.
Fucking hell, the fucking corridors in that hotel.
Yeah, you walk for miles. You can do your whole 10,000 steps.
It's incredible.
You can do your whole 10,000 steps just getting to your fucking room.
Yeah.
But it is a really good one. And Albert Dock is a brilliant spot as well. So it was a big one, and I think personally that they need when they're servicing that size of hotel, you need more than one coffee machine,
I think you
Andy.
do. Yeah, definitely.
You know, but that's for them to work out for themselves. But there was only one, and I wasn't too bothered because I'd already had my coffee. But I fancied another, but I was in no big hurry. And when I went back, there was an old guy who looked a bit like Hans Moleman from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Right, and he was trying to figure out the coffee machine. It's not easy if you're old and your vision isn't quite right and you're scared by technology, and you might think it's like an evil robot that if you press the wrong button it may attack you, right? But what was funny was there was a woman behind him, and she was very common. And there's no other way of me telling you this,
what
right?
part of the country was she from? Do you know?
I don't know. Know. She could have been from London because there was a lot of West Ham fans there. Unlikely she was from Liverpool, because why would you be staying in a Premier Inn in Liverpool if you're from Liverpool? So who knows where she's from? But she had the hallmarks of a very common fishwife.
How vulgar.
It was upsetting to me, but you know me. Yeah. I'm very socially adaptable.
You're a man of the people, yeah.
Although I didn't like it, I wasn't scared. I wasn't concerned for my own safety or that of my child, right?
You didn't feel like you should ring the authorities, police or social services.
I thought, live and let live.
Yeah.
But that woman is common, and she poses a threat. Right.
She could turn at any minute.
Yeah, and I was like, I know these people. Believe me, I grew up amongst these people. I know how they can turn, right? And when I came back into
your people, you've now obviously ascended to a higher social strata.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've elevated myself.
You got Vita Modular, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I've got Vita Modular now. Do you know what a Vita Modular is? No, I don't suppose you do you? Now, get out of my way. I want a coffee. And not a normal coffee like you'll have. I will have something such as a flat white or an Americano. No, not Mikado. That's something different entirely. Although I am also a fan of that.
It's not pronounced espresso, you idiot.
It's espresso. Have you never been to Florence?
As Jim Bowen used to pronounce it on Bullseye when I've watched the repeats, it's an espresso machine in 5. Yeah,
not as bad as my nan who said cup of chino. I took myself to BHS. They've got a lovely cafe there, and I treated myself to a cup of chino and a crescent, which she meant Do you mean a cappuccino and a croissant, grandmother? Cappuccino, though, makes sense, doesn't
it?
Yeah. Anyway, she was waving her fist at this old man, but he couldn't see. But she was looking over at one of her kids, brackets, also common. And she was looking at them, and she was pulling a grimacy face, and she was going, "Whoa." And I was like, I haven't seen anyone non-ironically shake a clenched fist outside of what's his name in James Finlayson in fucking Lauren and Hardy movies. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he was the king, wasn't he, of like shaking a fist angrily behind someone's back.
Totally.
And but she was doing it for real. So that's an example of something that if I wasn't podcasting, I'm not sure who I'd have been able to tell that to.
Yeah, that's true.
And they would have appreciated it. So sometimes I have things to say, yeah.
I mean, during the perineum, I've told you before, it's both of my kids' birthdays.
Oh, yeah.
Between Christmas Day and New Year's Eve. And I'm not going to say which date it is because it could be used against me legally in the future. But one night during the perineum this year, my son will be having a 16th birthday party at my house. With lots of other same-aged kids coming along. I imagine they'll be bringing some alcohol.
Yeah.
It could be carnage. I might have to live pod it happening.
Get the Terminator, get whatever your equivalent of the Terminator is at the ready, because some of those teenage lads, bang, they'll need a slap round the head.
I'm thinking of getting some kind of tranquilizer injection dart gun thing or a taser, because it could get pretty messy. So
there's a dad in our, what would you call it, milieu, right?
Call it that if you want. You wouldn't call it that if you were common, would you?
No, wouldn't have called that. Wouldn't have known that word in the old days.
You would have said gang or something like that.
Can't imagine my mum saying that there was a milieu that she was involved in with the other. Actually, I don't know this dad. I've never met him. Actually, I might have met him, but it kind of like you hear about other dads. I often ask about other dads because I'm curious to know what they're like.
You're dad curious, aren't you?
Yeah, I am dad curious. I like to know what's going on the local dad network, right? And I like to sort of try to assess where I am in the levels of dad weirdness, etc.
In the pecking order.
Yeah, exactly. Who's the favourite dad, etc. Anyway, this particular dad, he went to. I'm always hearing about him getting in rows. I had a brilliant one, right, where his offspring. I don't want to give too much race. So I'm not even going to reveal genders. But he went to pick up his child, about 16, from a party because they'd got they were too pissed, right? Yeah. So someone had called up and said, "Look, your kid's here at this party, and they're too fucking pissed to get themselves home. You better come and get them." So he's gone, "Oh, fucking hell, all right." So he's turned up and he's found this kid of his, right, sat on the curb, thrown up, head between the knees, the classic. But there's a lad, a friend there as well, this lad who's sort of looking. I can't keep this up, it's a girl. So there's a lad who's sat with her to take care of her while she's waiting for her dad to turn up, right? The car's turned up and her dad's gone, "Fuck's sake, blah, 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 get in." And she's gone, "Oh, can you give him a lift as well? He was dead kind and stayed to look after me." So the dad's gone, "Fine," but he's in a bad mood because he's been dragged out on a Saturday night, whatever. Go on, get in. So the lad gets in too. They drive back, right? And he goes to the lad, "Where do you live then?" And they go, "Oh, like teenage boys, just up there, just across the road."
Well, they're like that when they're sober, yeah.
"All right, you can get out here then." So he goes, "All right." So he gets out and he walks off. And this is how I heard it. The dad, because he's raging anyway about the whole situation, has leant out and he's gone, as the kid's walking off. You know how socially awkward boys are when they're 16. You remember what you were like. I remember what I was like. If it's a parent you don't know, it's embarrassing. You're also with a girl. That's just, everything's awkward. The dad's having none of it. He's leant out because the boys walked off without saying anything. And he shouted out, "How about a thank you next time, you cunt?" But dead serious. Like, not like how I would say it. It might at least be like, it was obviously a bit of a joke.
Yeah, with a
glint in your eye. He was dead serious. Yeah. How about fucking thank you next time, you ungrateful cunt? And the kid's just fucking scuttled off. Never shown his face again. Yeah, it's awkward, isn't it? I don't think... I don't like it. I don't think you should... I'm just saying to you, in case there's any kids acting the cunt at this do that you're having, you might have to call one of them a cunt, but don't pull it out too easily.
No,
you know what I mean? I think he went way too early. He went. That's not that bad. Not saying thank you after a lift. It's like... the teenager doesn't mean anything by that. He's just... A teenager is just completely fucking eaten up with, awkwardness. Do you know what I mean?
My daughter had a similar party a few years ago, and I don't remember it being eventful or horrendous. I'm just going to think the best and assume it's going to be all right. It'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen, apart from maybe, poisoning? Maybe, someone in intensive care.
For something getting broken's probably the worst possible thing. That's my main worry. But have you invested in? Do you have many sort of priceless vases around your
You'd be surprised to learn that I don't have very many priceless vases.
Don't you?
I've got a record collection that I'm quite proud of that I don't really want them.
They won't know what the fuck those are. They'll think they're big fucking licorice wheels and try to fucking eat them.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. Yeah, they won't.
Yeah. But no one's going to say, "Hey, can we get out some of your dad's groovy long players?"
Yeah. Yeah, there might have to be an emergency pod halfway through the perineum to catch up with that. Hopefully not.
Yeah. Or live like you're Kate Adie from a war zone.
Yeah.
I'm joining you live from a teenage party in Wearside.
Jalapeño. Jalapeño.
You mentioned Simpson character there, Hans Moleman. I had an encounter with my GP the other day when it was quite similar in terms of Simpsons references. You know, Dr. Hibbert on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Well, I get this, right? On the off chance, I rang the GP to see if there's any chance of getting a telephone appointment, because I'm still slightly plagued by this cough,
Yeah, and you're like,
congestion,
come on, doc.
wheezing
It's
chest
got
thing.
beyond a fucking
What
joke now.
What on
Yeah.
fucking day 23 or something by now.
Yeah, you're taking the piss
I
now.
thought, can I get some tablets or something? And I rang up the reception and asked, is there any chance of getting a telephone appointment? She said, I can get you one in 5 minutes.
Wow.
A fucking 5 minute.
That's incredible. You called it
GP
exactly the right
appointment.
moment.
Yeah, exactly. Just got completely lucky.
Yeah.
I says, yeah. So she says, oh, right, I'll ring you back. It was 20 minutes before he rang back, but that's all right. And it's a doctor I've dealt with before. He's a Nigerian guy, and he's great.
Yeah.
But I was saying, look, I've had this virus for like 3 weeks. Congestion, cough, wheezing chest, and it's just not going away. I just wondered if there's any chance of you getting anything from it. And he just kind of went, no.
Legend.
He said, he was like, he says, let's have a look at your records. He says, do you have COPD? Which is what that pulmonary disorder, that thing where people have to wear a mask, isn't it? And drag an oxygen bag around on a trolley. I says, no, I haven't got that. He says, no. If you had that, I'd probably be able to give you something. He says, but these viruses, they come and then they just go when they go. He says, there's no point in me trying to give you anything. He says, fluids, lots of fluids. I'm like, yeah, all right, I've been doing that. And he says, and look at it as a good excuse to put your feet up and have a rest. And I says, actually, I'm really good at that. And he went, I just thought, this is not what I want. I want some tablets. But at the same time, I'm really enjoying this encounter.
Yeah, but it really might have done something for your morale. I mean, you know, I think that bedside manner has a huge influence on people's wellness, you know.
Yeah.
And he's obviously got a cracking one, so it might have helped you.
He just said, if it gets worse or in about another 6 weeks you're still coughing, give us a call back. Like,
we'll see what we can do.
Fuck you very much.
But in a way, again, that's sort of like when you hear a doctor being very casual about your symptoms, I don't know, it gives you a bit of a boost. Does me anyway. Like, you know, I want them to take the piss a bit because it makes me think, takes the worry away. It's only if they go, what? How long did you say? What? And these oh, fucking hell. Yeah, you better come in. Yeah. You don't want that. You want him to fucking laugh you out of court, then you feel all right again.
Yeah, so what I did was that night, I just had a few beers instead. I thought, I'll give you some fucking fluids, mate. I'll show you what kind of fluids I can have. What do you think of that?
How about this cunt? You should have sent him a photo of yourself as well.
Yeah, big bottle of Styrofoam. What do you reckon of that?
How'd you like this, dickhead?
Yeah. So I've basically just made myself... I've just elongated me suffering just to prove a point to him that he's not even going to know about.
What, you think the booze will elongate it? I don't think it will.
I think so. Well, it hasn't made it any worse, put it that way.
Yeah, it won't make it worse, just a few beers.
I had 3 large glasses of Baileys as well, which I figured whiskey for kind of healing properties and the cream vitamins.
Creamy, and it's. I think there's protein in that as well. Quite a lot of protein, which will help you build muscle, which will help to stop the flu.
And I just stayed up watching old episodes of Top of the Pops while I was drinking it. So,
well, there you go. Sounds like a really good system. Yeah.
I'm going to do the same again tonight once we get this fucking party underway at 8 p.m. Yeah. So,
I've spent 7 hours getting back from Liverpool today. What a fucking trip that was.
Because the entire rail system collapsed, didn't it, on the west coast?
Loads of funny things happened on this trip. Like, my wife said when we finally got back, apart from the result, was it a good trip? And I said, well, I'd like to say yes, but we got on the train yesterday and I splashed out and did one of those upgrades, right? We go to, what they have is premium economy now, right? I don't know if you've encountered that, but it's like a first class carriage, so it's the same seat.
Yeah.
But it's cheaper because you don't get any of the table service. They don't bring you free snacks. Right. Yeah.
So it's like a hinterland between common class and
exactly, and posh class. Yeah. So it's like Lib Dem class, right?
Yeah.
And so I splashed out because the rest of the train was rammed, and it was quite funny because there was a couple of guys. It was a pretty empty carriage, and there was a couple of guys who were sort of like train guy types. They were working on they had a meeting in Liverpool, and they were working on a presentation together. They were both on laptops.
Yeah.
And one of them was senior, and he was saying to the other one, okay, so if you just crunch those numberoonies, we should be, by the time we hit Liverpool Street, we should have everything. We should have the whole dossier put together to blow the clients away and all that shit.
Brilliant.
So me and my son are sort of like exchanging glances sort of and smiles to each other. And I think they're a bit pissed off because me and my son are on there chatting away, and they're probably like, oh, God, a bit annoying. We thought we'd have the premium economy carriage to ourselves. Anyway, my son can't believe it when they come round and give a breakfast menu, right? And the breakfast menu involved something you had to pay for it, but it was like you actually got a fried egg with some fried potatoes, right? So he, out of excitement, ordered this, right? But then in time it took to come, he started complaining of motion sickness. And he did look pale. And then when they finally brought these fried eggs over, they put them in front of him. And he looked at them, and they did look, I don't know, there's something about them, and they're very runny and sort of like, there's too much membrane.
Too much mucus.
Mucus, yeah. I didn't want to say that word, but yeah.
Yeah, that's
there's a lot of sort of phlegmy mucus on this egg.
Yeah, I mentioned it.
And he's looked at
yesterday.
it, and he went, I'm not sure I can eat that. And I went, no, don't blame you. Don't worry about it.
Too much mucus.
Don't worry about it. And then all of a sudden he just went, oh, God. And he leant over the chair and just fucking vommed all over.
Oh, shit.
But what made it funny, these two blokes were just having their breakfast plonked down in front of them as he fucking spewed. And they looked so fucked off. But I'd already mentally taken against them. So it was almost worth my son throwing up just to sort of irritate them. However, I did clean it up, and it didn't smell too badly. It was mainly liquid. It sort of was one of those things that there was a lot of it, but it was just clear.
Yeah.
So I cleared it up. So that was the first thing. Then in Liverpool it was all right. We went to the Beatles Museum. That was pretty good.
Oh, that's great. Been there before.
Yeah. And then we go to the game. We lose 5-1. It's there's a scouse wind blowing throughout the game and a scouse rain. And the wind is blowing. We're right near the front of the away end, right? 3 rows in. Right. The scouse rain is blowing into our fucking faces incessantly, right? Throughout the match. Whilst we watch our team get absolutely fucking battered. So then we leave, try to get back to Albert. That takes ages. Fucking buses, Ubers, all sorts of bullshit, right? He falls over flat on his face outside Anfield, right?
Oh,
completely flat on his face in a puddle, trips, injures his knee, right? So that's the second fucking thing that's happened. Then this morning we get up, it's still blowing a fucking scouse typhoon. So I go, fuck this, we'll just go straight to the train station and go home. So that's one thing that works out. We get on the fucking train. It goes fine. I'm having a nice snooze until suddenly at Milton Keynes they announce, basically, there's been a big fucking accident of some sort, electrical cables falling on the line in Watford. We're all being held here and we've no idea for how long, right? And then he keeps giving updates every half hour. Still no update. But from my experience, I would say we're going to be here for a minimum of 2 hours, right? Then another half hour goes through. All right, more updates. No trains are moving into London. You're going to be here for 3 hours minimum. So I'm thinking, oh, fucking hell. So I'm looking at coaches. They take 3.5 hours, right? I'm looking at Ubers. That costs all sorts of money. I mean, maybe I should sit and wait it out, right? But slowly,
you've got a Christmas party to do.
I'm thinking of the Christmas party, right? I had a couple of other commitments, not least this one for the Christmas party. So I was worrying. I didn't know what to do. Everyone's getting off the train, right? It's just me and my son and an old woman left. The old woman's saying, I don't give a shit. She went, to be honest, love, if I got off this train here, she was really funny. She was pretty old.
Was she common?
She was Scouse. I wouldn't say she was like extremely common, but you know, she was salty and down to earth.
Yeah.
And she went, to be honest with you, lad, if I got off here, middle of Milton Keynes, I wouldn't have a clue what to do with myself. I'll quite happily sit here and I've got myself a Kit Kat and I'll sit here and eat it and read my book till whatever time. I've called my daughter and told her to expect to see me when she sees me. And I said, that's a very good philosophical attitude. And then I looked out the window and the signal that told me it's time to definitely get off was Dion Dublin was getting off the train.
That's when you know.
He didn't look happy.
Yeah.
And he was walking really looking fucked off. Turns out he was on my carriage, but I hadn't seen him until then.
Right.
And 2 West Ham fans who were just hanging around on the platform having a vape, they saw him and they asked him in the most glum, unexcitable way for a selfie. It was so funny. Let's go. Oh, Dion Dublin. Yeah, I'll give us a photo. And he just was like, okay. And the 3 of them just grim-faced looked into a camera and took a picture.
So
and then it was really weird.
A necessity selfie almost.
Yeah, that's what it was like. It was like, we've seen Dion Dublin. Obviously, we'll not be able to live with ourselves if we don't take the opportunity to get a photo. But we're not really in the mood because we're fucked up because we're stranded in Milton Keynes. And he's certainly not in the mood. So the 3 of them just look really fucked up to this picture. And then they just exchanged some logistical information on what they were planning on doing. I didn't hear exactly what Dion Dublin was doing, but I believe he was going to get somehow, it might have been the free bus service,
right,
or it might have been an Uber to the nearby station of Bedford, half an hour away, to pick up a different train. But when I saw he'd gone for it, I thought, I'll go for it. But you get outside Milton Keynes, there's the best part, 6,000 West Ham fans there trying to get in buses or Ubers to Bedford, which is fucking half an hour away, to get on another train, which is another fucking hour and a half. I thought, fuck this. Do you know what I did? I went to the fucking 6th car hire and I fucking rented a car and drove home.
Fetch me a car.
I just went in.
Yeah.
I went, I'll have a fucking car. I thought, by the time I'm fucked around with all these Ubers and everything, I'll be home in like 7 hours. I'll miss the Christmas party.
Yeah.
Right? So I got a fucking reasonable deal on a fucking hire car and they said I could drop it off in Shepherd's Bush the next day. I don't know where Dion Dublin is now. I'd like to say I whizzed past the puddle when he was stood at the bus stop and gave him the V's. Holmes under the fucking hammer, is it? Up yours, Dublin!
I had 2 versions. I had one where he got home, another one where he's still stranded in Bedford.
I heard he was still in Milton Keynes now.
If you're listening, Dion.
Looking for somewhere to stay. He'd put a tweet out saying, has anyone got a spare bed for the night? In the Milton Keynes area. Yeah.
So you made it back.
So after all that, I fucking get back. What a fucking... The amount of money I've spent and the amount of time just to see your team get battered 5-1. The only good thing to come out of it was probably the Beatles Museum.
Yeah. That is great in there, yeah.
It is good, though, yeah.
And, I mean, the whole of the... what you call it? The docks. The Albert Docks. That was when I stayed there, that's when I finally got Liverpool.
Yeah, it's
I was
brilliant
unsure
place
about
to
Liverpool
stay.
the first couple of times I went, but then when I saw that, I was hanging around down there, I thought, yes, now I understand.
It's a really good place to stay, and it's right opposite the M&S Arena, which I think is one of their biggest music venues as well.
That's where me and my daughter saw Pet Shop Boys last year.
There you go.
One of the many Pet Shop Boys.
And then you can stay at the Premier Inn. The front door of the Premier Inn is literally a 2-minute walk to the front door of M&S fucking Simply Music or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So, all in all, great to be in Liverpool, but everything else, shit.
But great to be home again. Can we quickly do some predictions before we go?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I'm looking at the wrong screen. Right, Liverpool versus Arsenal. Uh-oh, Liverpool.
Whoa, at Anfield.
At Anfield.
I tell you what, Liverpool were fucking good. Arsenal are good too, but I think I'm going to say 2-1 to Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool. I'm going to go for 1-1. And we've got Manchester City versus Brentford. Is that even on? I thought Manchester City were away doing the... No, it's postponed. That's not on. Let's do Fulham versus... Fulham versus Burnley. Yeah. Fulham versus Burnley. I will go for... Fulham will win that 2-0.
I'm going to say Fulham 5, Burnley 0.
Another 5 for Fulham. West Ham United versus Manchester United.
It's got to be 2-1 to the Hammers, hasn't it?
Well,
it's obvious.
You think so? You've just said that. I think this will be... I think it'll be 1-0 Manchester United. I'm very sorry. Sunderland versus Coventry under our new AI manager, Ian Beale. I think we will... I think we'll fucking lose this 2-1.
Is that your place, is it? I've no idea what Coventry are like. I have a vague idea of what Sunderland are like. I'll say 1-0. All
right. And then finally Luton versus Newcastle.
Interesting one, that. I think that it will be 2-2.
I think it will be 1-0 to Luton.
Yeah,
all right,
possible.
That's the predictions, and that is the episode, and that is it for topical episodes for us for 2023. So very Merry Christmas to all of you. Thanks for sticking with us and listening over the last 12 months. We appreciate it more than you could possibly know.
Yeah.
And
thanks, everyone. I hope you have a lovely Christmas. You will be hearing from us, but don't expect any topical chat. So this is more of the official Yuletide greeting.
It'll all be pre-recorded shite. So, very Merry Christmas. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Goodbye.